Hey sailors, welcome to the crew. I'm Sea Lord Janda, and this is my Let's Play of Rule the Waves 3 as the United States. We are still at war with Britain and France. We've just managed to sink one of Britain's battle cruisers in a battle off of New Brunswick, which we're currently invading. Britain is invading Guantanamo Bay, which we hold in the Caribbean. They still have a fleet more than double ours overall, but the blockade of our coast has temporarily been lifted. We will see how it plays out in this part. Meanwhile, down here, we're going to have to try to get them in a battlecruiser engagement, or a cruiser engagement that's not using battlecruisers. Anything with battleships or cruisers, anything but battlecruisers. Obviously, they have 5, we have none, assuming that's an accurate estimate, which isn't guaranteed. Everything else we have, honestly, parity or superiority in, so a battleship engagement I'd be willing to fight. Obviously, they have more dreadnoughts and almost as many pre-dreadnoughts, but I'd be willing to at least make a go of it. 8 months until the Kentuckys are done, which we should keep in mind. We shouldn't. We should do our absolute best not to lose any battle. Okay, yeah, that's those are too expensive to keep building right now. Do our absolute best not to lose any. Estimated enemy forces are what now? Well, if we really have only destroyers, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to accept and then I'm going to run away. And fun trick, although a bit of a time waster, that will cause us to not lose victory points, so it'll just be considered a stalemate. So let's just turn around and sail away. Bye, guys. Have fun up there, Britain. Yeah, this is a little boring, I know, but and very gamey, but then again, the whole concept of us losing victory points if we don't launch this coastal raid is also very gamey, so just fighting it in the best way I know how. Yes. Yeah, they had 3 battle cruisers up there. We would have been annihilated. Which is important news. They've transferred at least 3 New Zealand. Well, no. No, that's in New Zealand also? Okay. They've transferred at least 3 battle cruisers into this region. We only have 2 in our whole fleet, so that's an issue. They got a couple points, but not as many as if we had just declined. Oh, private shipbuilding. Great. Oh, man. You know, for Let's Play purposes, it would be very unexciting if the war ended now. On the other hand, we're severely outnumbered by the combined Franco-British forces. I'm just going to go... Well, I'm indecisive on this. Do I want to end the war? The problem is, we could lose the war. We could really, really lose the war. We are actively, technically winning. You know what? Let's fight on. Senior generals persuade the president to scuttle peace to go. Oh, we've lost New Brunswick. Oh, but we've repulsed the invasion of Guantanamo Bay. Okay, both sides' opening moves have failed. Should I attempt to invade New Brunswick again? we're blockaded again because they've moved their whole fleet back to the east coast. Presumably to repulse the invasion of New Brunswick. So my answer to that is going to be to send all my new ships that I just moved south back north to my east coast. Yay. All this shuffling around is fun. We can resume one of these Saratogas. Temporarily, anyway. 7 months. I mean, get 10 by the time they work up properly and everything, but also, not that, 7 months for training to be completed. 9 and 5. We have a battlecruiser operational, but dang, they've got a big fleet. It's a bloody good thing France doesn't really have any forces around. I wonder if we should just try to invade, like, Grand Bahama or something. At least maybe that would force them to stop blockading our east coast. Oh, I see. Well, we sure are blockaded. Okay. Ah, triple torpedo mounts. Excellent. Japan are trying to help out. Okay. So that's the total balance of power, is it? It's not pretty reading. But we're still winning by victory points, so keep that in mind. Is there a California that's... You're Pittsburgh. No. You had condenser trouble or something, but I still need you to go to the East Coast, please. Along with these, not sure why they didn't move. Maybe they had troubles too. Hard to say. Oh boy. Oh boy. October of 1913. Full-scale fleet action between the British and American fleets off the U.S. coast. Off of Wilmington, North Carolina. That's a lot of ships. Oh hey, we've actually developed the Scout Force concept. Yay. Apparently our Scout Force is just Lexington and 3 destroyers. And here we have a column of 5 dreadnought battleships. Don't ask Oregon what she's doing. She's special and unique. You understand? She's just like that. 3 pre-dreadnought battleships, 4 armored cruisers, 2 light cruisers, and I'm not going to count the destroyers, but it's a whole lot of them. Will Oregon become... No, she's just sailing left, leading the whole column left. Okay. I won't question it. Where now are the British? Oh. They're closer to our main force than our scouting force. Unusual. But okay. I also noticed that just our dreadnoughts turned north and the whole rest of our force didn't. Which seems a little unhelpful, really. Okay, yep, that's a bunch of ships. That's probably their scouting force, honestly. Oh, no, maybe it's their whole fleet. Okay, that's a lot of ships. Yep. We're going to need to turn and start shooting at those. You know what? Call me a coward, but maybe let's turn west and start shooting at those. Just in case we have to run back to port. Do you understand? They have what now? That must be newly finished. According to my intelligence, none of those are finished, which maybe means my ID is faulty. Hopefully. 12, 15-inch guns? That's too many guns. We don't have any ships bigger than 12-inch guns present here. One of my intelligences is faulty, and it's either whoever's identifying that ship right there, or it's whoever's assembling my fleet, my copy of Jane's fighting ships. Hopefully, it's whoever's identifying that ship over there. And it might be, because it's not really in a line like it should be. I think we had a hit on them anyway. Okay, so that's their battle cruisers. That's their dreadnoughts. That's their pre-dreadnoughts. Lexington, if you could just maybe, yeah. Oh, God, that's a lot of ships. All right. I don't want to get any closer than this, probably. I do, however, want to make sure that... Ooh, we're not even close to being in gunnery range for them. We are just about for these, though. I want to make sure my pre-dreadnoughts are engaged, because we need the firepower. We're landing some hits on their Benbow. I think North Carolina's taking a lot of hits on our side. Okay, Lexington, good. Turn around now. Try not to crash into all the dreadnoughts. Oh boy. Now, this is certainly something. That's a big engagement. Okay. Craven is launching torpedoes. That's... To be fair, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 dreadnoughts that are really close to us right now, I think. This is winnable very much with this force, because if these are all Empress of India class, they're basically bringing... Okay, this one's a Benbow class, but they're basically bringing 12, 18, up to maybe 26 guns to bear. We do have more than that in this force. These bring... In fact, all of the Oregons bring at least 8. It's only... It's only this one that only has 6. Delaware actually has 10, so that's 10, 8, 26, 34, 40 guns on our side. So we definitely have this forward force of theirs outgunned. And they're turning away. I think they probably noticed the torpedo somebody fired at them, to be honest. I saw it go into their formation. It went through, though. Okay. Well, let's stick with them. We can't let these fall too far behind. They can't. That whole British pre-dreadnought force back there would be a big issue. Also can't be having the cruisers get too close to them because they're not bullet sponges. However, the cruisers circling around in front of them would be perfectly welcome, so... More torpedoes out. They're turning away again. Enough to dodge the torpedoes, unfortunately, but... Oh boy. I don't want to get cut off from Wilmington, but... They're a bit of a mess there right now. Not that we're landing the kind of hits that are actually going to sink anything, but I don't see any reason to disengage yet anyway. Not sure why all their light cruisers there are barely moving, but... Oh boy. What are you planning to do now? On clear. Hold on, they're trying to do a Nelson at Trafalgar or something. They're charging head on at us. Everyone please just concentrate all your firepower on the lead ship and wipe it off the face of the earth, maybe? Seems like a good policy to me. Next season's gotten a little too isolated here. How many destroyers? That's one. I need bigger. Also one. There we go. I'm gonna start assembling these guys for a little bit of a torpedo run, maybe, if they keep doing whatever the hell it is they're doing right now. I have to say, we didn't land all that many hits while they were on the suicide run, but now we're starting to land some on Benbow. There's how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5 dreadnoughts in there. I think there's 2 more, 3 more back here. I mean, 8 to 5. But they're not handling themselves super well so far. It wouldn't exactly be spectacular if we came out here having, dealt more damage but not really sunk anything, but that is very possible, of course. I hate to let ourselves get cut off to any extent from Wilmington, but I think a right turn is our best chance of actually sort of staying with them without causing chaos in our formation, so we're going to engage in that. Our pre-dreadnoughts are very isolated, unfortunately. They're really falling behind the line, but so are theirs. Theirs have been a total non-factor so far. Okay, they're kind of coming at us again. They've pretty much totally lost their line, and that's almost all hits on their ships, so... Where's those destroyers I'm in direct command of? Lexington destroyers. Yeah. Turn this away, 30 knots, and see what you can do, boys. Or, no, they're ships. Girls. And one of them immediately got hit. That's nice. None of them would care to really... Really? Already? Jesus. Okay, I was kind of looking for, like, massed torpedo launches. Doesn't really seem like that's going to happen. Everybody go ahead and turn away again. Somebody just finally launched? I swear that was the... Yeah, they did. Okay, we're getting precariously close to where we would end up engaging their pre-dreadnoughts. We can't afford to do that, so I'm going to have us turn around. Hopefully doesn't cause our formation to get catastrophically... Oh, that's unfortunate for you. Oh, there's a lot of torpedoes in the water. Most of them will miss. I mean, not that many. Half a dozen, maybe. But if 1 or 2 hit, that would be pretty huge. They are, I assume, taking evasive maneuvers. Oh, great. Jeez. Okay, they looked very chaotic, but apparently they were still a little too together for a torpedo attack to succeed. I'm going to set them back to support. Oops, here come our pre-dreadnoughts. I don't know why you two are like this, but maybe you should not be there. Okay, let's come due south with all of our forces that we've got and see what we can do about this mess of dreadnoughts over here. This is 4 more destroyers if they could form a line. I mean, the only way we're going to get a decisive result is if we can manage to torpedo 1 or 2 of them and they fall out of line, and then maybe we can get a good battering in on just that ship. Otherwise, they have more firepower than us when you come right down to it. So we're not likely going to get anything decisive out of just a gunnery engagement. I think we're getting the better of the gunnery engagement. Just about, but not by enough to sink any of theirs. Dreadnoughts are tough ships. Sure, that seems probably unsafe, but and if it costs a couple of destroyers to get that decisive torpedo hit, that's just sort of destroyers are disposable. Okay, we're launching a lot. It's hard to say if any are going to hit, but we're launching them. Really? Everyone's going to miss? Kind of seems like it. How did that... I saw one practically go through them there. Oh, well. What? Oh, shoot. No. Not there. Don't go that way. Okay, I need to... I've let the fleet get a little bit, messy here while I was trying to persuade my destroyers to torpedo things. Wow. Chattanooga just actually blasted this enemy light cruiser all to hell there. Wow. These two are engaged in an absolute suicide run, and somehow they've managed to just isolate and wipe out an enemy light cruiser in the process. Just, yeah. Just wrecked that British light cruiser while sitting all of 5,000 yards from a whole line of British dreadnoughts. You guys back under AI control and back onto support duties. Dodged a torpedo. We still haven't got anything, you know. We've sunk maybe. So, oh, Tacoma just took a lot of hits finally, unfortunately. We still haven't got any hit that's really worthwhile in against these battleships. I mean, some of them are pretty significantly hit, and the British fleet has definitely become very, like, that's a bunch of pre-dreadnoughts. Half of their dreadnoughts have just sort of vanished as far as I can tell. I mean, I see these 3 Empress of Indias, and I have no sight of the other, like, 5, but I'm sure they're around off to the north somewhere. Tacoma, unfortunately, is now getting destroyed by all of these cruisers over here, so I don't think she's going to survive. Which is a real shame, because I don't know that we've killed anything that large on their side. However, I don't really see any support approaching immediately, so I'm going to try my best to close in and really get some hits in on these Empress of Indias. With whatever I have available here. That's maybe the rest of the dreadnoughts. That's bad. And we're really running low on ammo. That's also... Oh, that's all pre-dreadnoughts, but... That Empress of India is really suffering. But do we have... You guys all have torpedoes. Fantastic. Okay. I need every ship in the bloody fleet to try and torpedo that laggardly Empress of India. And if we could sink her, it would easily make up for any and all other losses we've suffered in this whole battle. Moreover, if we could cut in through here and cut this Empress of India off from any support, that could be enough to finish her in itself. Is this all those destroyers? Yeah. Due north, lads. Wow, that Comus class we hit is leaving a trail of smoke there. Wow. All of these probably have submerged torpedoes, which could be a big issue. We're also engaging a bunch of pre-dreadnoughts at close range. This is a little bit of insanity, to be honest. It's very high risk. Pretty much shooting at British ships to either side. There are destroyers in here. Hot damn! Okay. The battleship USS Minnesota just sank that dreadnought at the range of 4,700 yards with a direct turret flash fire. That's what we wanted from this battle. We're running very low on ammo. So we are going to try to turn and bail out of here immediately, especially because we're about to plunge headlong into a destroyer force. And probably get torpedoed, but I'd rather not get torpedoed, so you know. Man, the smoke... I've never seen such a big smoke trail from a ship before. Hey, Chattanooga, now that she's super isolated, why don't you go back and finish her off? Oh, great. What are you planning to do now? Oh, I wonder if it's actual smoke screen, if that's what that looks like. I never really used those. Probably should, but... Whoopsies, Lexington did not turn, but... As long as she doesn't take a submerged torpedo hit, that's fine. Somebody just launched 2 torpedoes. USS Sigourney just torpedoed that Pearl twice at point-blank range. That's fine. Well, now everybody in this whole destroyer column's about to do it. Maybe just back to actually this battle division, back to screen formation, and yeah. Okay, some things are shooting up this Comus class anyway. Hopefully including Chattanooga. Hopefully enough to actually sink her. The Pearl is definitely sunk, but I think that's a small, yeah. Not as good as... Although, Tacoma hasn't sunk yet, by the way. Damn it. That torpedo went right under that Comus class, I think. Okay, Chattanooga, I'm going to need you to not be engaging their whole reforming dreadnought force on your own. Thanks. We are disengaging, by the way. I don't know if I made that entirely clear, but we are headed back to Wilmington as fast as our engines can carry us now. We're at, okay, good. We're at maybe, a lot of our dreadnoughts are at like 20% ammunition or something. Oh, wow. Yeah, like Oregon here has literally 0 ammo for her second forward turret. I think that's this one. So we're critically low on ammo all around. Probably so are they to some extent, but yeah, it's time to retreat. This rain will hopefully help shelter us, and we're going to take it down to cruising speed because I don't really think they're chasing us in any sort of organized fashion. And I'm going to sort of just attach everything to the battle cruisers that I don't have to, or the dreadnoughts that I don't have to order them all around individually. Well, except I can't attach, well, maybe I could, but whatever. Both of you down to cruising speed, back to Wilmington, go. Oops. That's a big, big win for us. It's not obviously going to turn the whole tide of the war instantaneously. It honestly probably isn't even enough in game terms to lift the blockade of our east coast, but when I said I was willing to fight a battleship engagement with... Ah, great. Bye, Kimberly. Yeah. When I said I was willing to fight a battleship engagement with Britain, despite being outgunned, I was serious, and we pulled it off. This is pretty much barring... sorry about the mic. Barring a sudden, catastrophic explosion of one of our dreadnoughts or something on the way home, despite we lost, I don't know, 3 destroyers, etc., this will be a win. And Tacoma is still afloat, by the way. She's not even that badly hurt in some regards. I mean, she's not in danger of sinking. I think she's probably going to limp back intact, so all we'll have lost, I think, is 3 destroyers, maybe? That's nothing against... We probably sank 3 destroyers, even if we didn't. I believe we sank 2 light cruisers and a battleship. A dreadnought battleship, not a pre-dreadnought. So this should go down as a pretty enormous win. Do I have to sail around this spit of land manually in order to enter this harbor? I think maybe I do. Okay. There we go. Except for those unfortunate destroyers out there who have gotten lost. I, in my benevolence, will help them. Congratulations, destroyers. You're now the flagships of the fleet. Because everyone else made it to port before you did. Oh no, this damaged destroyer way out here is the flagship of the fleet now. Congratulations. Oh, these guys are not... Ah, great. I can't even take control of her because she's not the... Okay! Yeah. Oh, we didn't sink a single destroyer from their force, actually, but it really doesn't matter. We lost poor USS Wolsey, USS Lawrence, and USS Kimberley, all to, well, Wolsey here took a 7-inch shell to the engine room, and a 6-inch shell to the engine room, and, yeah, Lawrence here took also a 7-inch shell to the engine room. Interesting, both of those were sunk by pre-dreadnoughts, and Kimberley here took a 6-inch shell to the hull, and then eventually sank 4 hours later through flooding because she was going 30 knots for the whole day, probably. Oh well. In return, we sank HMS Philomel, which is a rather small and ineffective light cruiser, but a light cruiser nonetheless. I wonder if the 2 torpedoes were necessary? Yes, they were, but they finished her off immediately. And the light cruiser Comus. This was the actual Comus, not just Comus class, which was actually sinking before we finally hit her with a torpedo. But that's fine. And I'll get to it in a second. We really battered their battleship force compared in general all across the board to what ours took. They had 7 dreadnoughts, 4 battlecruisers, and 10 pre-dreadnoughts here to our 5, 1, and 3. None of ours took more than light damage over the course of this battle. It's only our small ships that took significant damage. And theirs... Only 3 of their dreadnoughts even got away with only light damage. 3 of them are pretty significantly damaged besides the one that's sunk. Their battlecruisers... I barely even saw their battlecruisers all day. They did not get them into combat effectively at all. I wonder if the AI maybe has a thing to tell it that battlecruisers shouldn't fight battleships. They should fight my battlecruisers. But I just kept Lexington tucked pretty close into the battleships all day, and she contributed her firepower and didn't take a lot of hits. In fact, he's undamaged, apparently, so the British missed out on that. Neither of us really... Our pre-dreadnoughts are too slow to necessarily get super involved in the front of a battle like this, but mine got stuck in more than theirs did. Honestly, what all of theirs being undamaged except for the one tells me basically is that all of theirs never actually made it into the fight, whereas all 9 of our capital ships were mostly contributing against their 7 dreadnoughts all day. So that is how they've ended up with Glory here. What damaged Glory? You know, she just managed to get... Oh, she was the one we were shooting at right towards the end. That was just stuck near us for some reason. We dealt some decent little damage to Centurion here, nothing crippling. We dealt a lot of damage to Empress and India and Royal Oak, which I'm guessing are the other 2 that were stuck in that group of 3 near us towards the end. This isn't... I mean, she didn't sink, but this will be several months of repairs for both of them. Wow, that's... Royal Oak here is gutted. She was on fire for a long time before they finally actually put it out. Guess she lost electrical power, probably, from USS New Mexico. That's a lot of 12-inch shells. Yeah, this one is actually quite lucky to still be afloat, in all truth. We were too low on ammo to effectively chase her and be sure of finishing her off, though. And then HMS Renown here, dead. Obviously not their most modern dreadnought. really only a semi-dreadnought herself, because 6 guns to a side, but that's the first dreadnought battleship sunk in the world, I'm fairly sure. And, you know, she wasn't sinking until... I mean, she was very badly damaged, I think, but... Oh, no, wait, did I just read somewhere? I don't know, just that she couldn't keep up and had to be detached, but... I think we would have sunk her with or without the flash fire, because I think all of our destroyers would have torpedoed her shortly, but... yeah, that 12-inch round from Minnesota just double hit even. Just annihilated her instantaneously. So that's HMS Renown sunk along with Comus and Philomel. We lost 3 destroyers. And, I mean, the Royal Navy is much bigger than ours, but they only had 11 dreadnoughts. Maybe they had 12 before, with their newest commissioned Magnificent here. But they don't have anywhere near enough dreadnoughts to just be losing them casually here. I don't even know. I mean, Onslow Bay is probably technically accurate, but I'm going to call it, like, Battle of Wilmington, because that's what I associate it with more. Thanks for watching, sailors. I hope you enjoyed the video. New parts should be up daily, or you can watch live on Twitch. If you did enjoy the video, consider leaving a like or subscribing. This is Sea Lord Janda, signing off.